Okay, this is Paul Schneider, and today I just wanted to show you how to make kombucha. You always have to start out with a SCOBY, and you can get that online, you can get it from different places, you can get it from a friend. And so today we have this kombucha tea. You can see that I've already drank in some of it, and if you want to just get a close-up of the SCOBY in there.
Okay.
Feels kind of weird in your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour out some of the kombucha tea. I've already washed my hands. You pour out, and you usually leave about a quarter cup in the bottom, as you can see, to make your new kombucha. And so we've got our SCOBY in there. We've got about a quarter cup, maybe just over, of kombucha tea that's ready to make our new batch. Let me take this and pour it into a glass. Because we don't want to put boiling water on our SCOBY. And we'll just put it in there like so. And we'll be using it right away anyway. So first of all, we're going to put a quarter cup per quart of white sugar. You do not want to put raw sugar. You want to put white sugar. For some reasons, kombucha likes the white sugar. So let's go ahead and put our boiling water in there. We'll put a little bit in to start with, and we're gonna. I always do 2 quarts a week. I have a total of 4 quarts going all the time, and it takes about a week. Temperature between 68 and 76 degrees. It's what's recommended for making kombucha tea. And so we're just going to make up a new batch and just kind of stir this around and get our sugar nice and dissolved in there. And then we'll pour in the rest of our water, and of course we want to leave room. You can come closer if you like. We want to leave room in each container for the kombucha tea and the SCOBY that we're going to be adding in. Okay. So we put about that much water, and then we use black tea, and the SCOBY actually feeds on the black tea. So it's best to use black tea and not green tea, is what I've heard. It feeds on the tea, it feeds on the sugar, and what it does, it's a fermentation process. And so we're going to let that steep. They say 10 minutes, sometimes we'll do 30 minutes that we let it steep. This is the family size. We just use this Luzane. It has a nice flavor to it. But the tea bag, it says 1 tea bag per 4 cups. It's the family size. That's what my wife gets to make her kombucha. So if you're just using a regular tea bag, it might take 3, but probably 4 tea bags to equal this family size tea bag. And when we're done, then we take the tea bag out, and we just take the contents here and pour it in. I can't do it right now because it's really hot, but we pour it in, and I like to pour the tea in first, and then I take the SCOBY by my fingers. And you can see one side of the SCOBY is white, and the other side is kind of yucky and dark. And so what I always do is the white side is the newest growth. Okay, because the SCOBY is always adding layers, so that after about 6 or 7 weeks, it's thick enough to divide it in 2 and to share it with a friend. Okay, and so I always put the white side up in the container, and it floats. It has air inside of it, or pockets of whatever kind of air gas it is, and so it floats on top. And put the white side up, and that way you always have your new growth on the top. And so that's what you do to make kombucha tea. And so once this cools, it'll take probably 6 hours, and it'll get down to room temperature. Then I'll pour in my tea, my 1/4 cup of kombucha tea with my SCOBY into the container. And then when it's done, it needs to breathe. And so we just use a coffee filter. And we put that over top, and then just use a rubber band to seal it. And once that's done, we bring it in here. We keep ours in our pantry. And so this is my kombucha tea that's been going for a week now, and which means it's now ready to start using. So what I did is I just brought it up from the back and put my new one in the back, and then when I'm done, every day I'll just pour out about 8 ounces from these two until they're down to the 1/4 cup with the SCOBY, and then I'll make a new batch, and then I'll bring my other batch, which has been sitting for a week, toward the front, and then those are ready. And what I normally do is usually the taste is a little bit different. One will be a little bit stronger than the other. The longer it sits, the more that the SCOBY digests the sugars. And so a week it'll still be a little bit sweet, but as you go it'll start tasting more and more vinegary. And so I don't mind the vinegar taste. You're getting more probiotics with the vinegar taste. So if it goes a little longer, that's okay. But I normally, it's like by the time I finish drinking these two, it'll be another week into it. And whichever one's stronger, I drink that one first, and then I drink the other one. And usually by the end of the second week, when I finish up and ready to make another batch, it's pretty strong. Okay, to avoid that, you don't have to drink it straight out of the container. You can empty both and just leave your 1/4 cup and put them in containers in the fridge, and they'll keep just fine. But this is just how I do it. And so anyway, that's how you make kombucha tea. And we've been using these SCOBYs now for, I guess it's been years anyway since we started making tea. And if you go on vacation, they'll do fine just sitting out, because you do have, you can leave them a couple weeks. If you want, you can take them with you, whatever, but you can leave them for a couple weeks, and then it'll just be strong, and then just make your new batches.
If you take them with you, you just put a cap on them, like an actual...
So if you want to take them with you, okay, I've got a smaller jar. Well, here we go. If you want to take them with you, then just pour them in a spare jar, and put a lid on and tighten it good, and then that'll travel just fine.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave it on. Okay, so when the SCOBYs get to be thick, and you can see this one is pretty thick. It's about this thick, which is close to 1 inch. When they get to be that thick, then you can take some off the bottom, just like this, and keep the new part, which is the lightest color on top, and put it back in your container. But this part you can just throw away. And so when the SCOBY gets about 1 inch thick, I'll take off maybe about 1/3 of it and just throw it away. Or you can just divide it right in half and make 2 jars and share it with a friend. But yeah, if they get too thick, they just take up more room in the jar, and you don't need that much SCOBY in the jar.